Good morning, my brothers and sisters. God is good and He's worthy to be praised. I want to share with you a text that I read, and I wanted to share with you. It just blew me away. It's 1 Kings chapter 6, verse 7. It says, "And the temple, when it was being built, was built with stone finished at the quarry, so that no hammer or chisel or any iron tool was heard in the temple while it was being built." This is Solomon's temple. When Solomon began to build the temple of God, God is a God of peace. In honor of God, he built the temple in total silence. How do you construct a building in complete silence? No hammer, no chisel, no iron was heard. Everything that was shaped, formed, chiseled, cut was cut miles away. They did it in silence. They built this. Solomon's temple was built in silence. I wanted to talk about, can you keep a secret? Keeping it confidential. God is a God of silence. People say things like gangsters move in silence. It is true. One sign of immaturity is when you can't keep nothing. My mom used to say you can't hold water. Some people can't keep anything. What are you trying to say? I'm trying to tell you that God built Solomon's temple with no noise. One way people know construction is going is by its sight and by its sound. Sound carries so much further that people can hear the sound. You alert the enemy. God is trying to do something in your life. He's trying to do something great in your life. My mother used to say, if you tell God, He won't tell anybody else. When God speaks to the nations, He speaks to one person. God's trying to do something in your life. And listen, the one way it will be hindered is by you telling somebody else. You got to learn how to keep things confidential. Keep it between you and God until there is always a timed testimony. There's a time for testimony, but you have to keep things silent. One reason why is because many times, like I know, if you tell the enemy what's going on, if you telepath to the enemy what's going on, you give the enemy a chance to hinder it, to stop it. You remember with the children of Israel going around the wall of Jericho, He said, be quiet, don't say anything. In Matthew, He said, don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. When Jesus would heal people, He would say, don't tell anybody. Because listen, real G's, real G-O-D, move in silence. You don't telepath it and tell the enemy what's going on. Many of you want to share testimonies, too early. And what happens is you tell your loved ones or people who you think are in your corner. And I said to you before, people hate you because your freedom reminds them of their incarceration. That's why you have to keep quiet, keep confidential what God is doing. You do not tell your boss that you're leaving the job until you have secured a new job. You do not tell the enemy or people who you think that love you that God is doing something, because that gives them free opportunity to prepare and plan to destroy what God is doing. I'm saying to you, maturity is when you can keep to yourself, hold within what God is doing in your life. That way it's not hindered by the enemy or your loved ones. And sometimes you could tell people will kill your spirit. Listen, people will kill your spirit. God can tell you something, to do something. You go tell somebody else, they'll kill your spirit. And people can only inform you according to their own level of faith. I'll say it again and I'll get off this line. People can only inform you according to their level of faith. You said the Lord told you to do this. Their level of faith can't see it. So the only thing they can do is hinder what God is doing in your life. Don't let people kill